It's the end of the Switch as we know it. And I feel fine. Look, there obviously was a message sent with that latest Nintendo Direct that we just got a couple of days ago. I saw it, you saw it, we all saw it. Some people disagree with it. At the end of the day, this is just my personal opinion on the subject matter, but this is pretty much Nintendo making a layup for their next generation system. We all know it's coming at some point in time, but I feel like the writing is definitely on the wall. Just when you look at how this Direct was handled, what was talked about in this Direct, because there's obviously a very strong motif going on here. That's not to say that games aren't coming out or anything like that, because they are, but it's pretty clear, at least to me and other YouTubers who made this same exact video before I did, stupid Spawn Wave, I hate you with every fiber of my being. But the Nintendo Switch, the sun is starting to set on this system, and we're definitely starting to gear up towards the next platform. Now, what makes me say that? Well, look at the games we got in this Nintendo Direct and tell me what you notice about something here. Let's start off with Super Mario RPG. Great looking game. I've never played Super Mario RPG before, but is this an all brand new adventure designed specifically for the Nintendo Switch? No, it's a Super Nintendo game with a new coat of paint, some new additional boss rush thing in it as well. You know, whatever the case is, it's going to be an awesome game that a lot of people are looking forward to, but it's not exactly what I would call a robust new experience. They're simply just changing up the gameplay a little bit, adding in a new coat of paint, and then shipping it out to the consumers. You can even look at the blockbuster title, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's kind of the big holiday title for Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. And what can you say about that? A safe bet, a low risk, high reward situation for Nintendo. This is a 2D Mario game, not exactly the bastion of high game development cost or anything like that. And it has a simplistic but good looking, vibrant art style. And, you know, they're not really doing anything too spectacular with this game that would cause you a lot of, you know, worry and like, oh, are you putting too much money into this game or something like that? No, the game is obviously going to sell well. It's obviously going to print money, so it's a low risk, high reward situation. Let's take a look at some other titles that were announced during this presentation. Mario versus Donkey Kong. I mean, okay, you know, it looks fine. It's a budget $50 release, which is kind of weird because there's other games we're going to talk about that are full $60 releases, and, you know, they're remakes as well, but whatever, we'll get to that when we get to that. But this game, of course, looks fine. You know, once again, a low risk, high reward situation, using the same sort of sprites that Mario is using within Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So, you know, the cost of this game can't be all that much. And of course, this game is a remake of the Game Boy Advance game. A fine game in its own right, kind of a weird game when you consider that they could have just put the original game on Nintendo Switch Online, and I think people would have been happy with that. But, you know, maybe they'll add some additional bells and whistles. Hopefully they add some more content into the game, because while it's a solid game, it definitely was a bit light on content, as this was the first Mario versus Donkey Kong game that we got in this traditional sense. But once again, it's a remake. What's another game we got from this Nintendo Direct from Nintendo? Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door. GameCube game. It's allegedly going to be $60, so I also wonder, are they going to put any additional content in there as well? But this, once again, is a remaster of an old Nintendo game that already exists, meaning that you don't have to build the game from the ground up. Say it with me, people. Low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. Now, I will be playing this game again because I thoroughly enjoy this game. I played it originally on the GameCube. I could play it upscaled on one of my mini PCs or my emulation PCs, and good Lord, I have a bunch of them. I got to start selling some of them or something. Like, every room in my house that has a TV now has a mini PC attached to it, which is great, but it just seems like a bit of overkill because some of these rooms, like my kitchen, like I have a TV in my kitchen. For some reason, I have a mini PC. Well, it's really in the dining room, but the dining room's attached. I know, it's really weird. My grandma said I needed some art on the wall, and I was like, art is stupid. I'm going to buy a TV instead. So I put a big TV in the dining room that I never eat in. It's just for like when guests come over. But anyways, getting back to the topic at hand, this is yet another low risk, high reward game because there's a lot of people that never played the original GameCube game. You're giving it a new coat of paint. And of course, hopefully there's going to be some new additions to the game as well. What's another game that was announced at this event? Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And technically this wasn't announced. We got this during the last Nintendo Direct, but we did get the name of this game being the very original Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, but that's what this game is. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon from the Nintendo 3DS, given a new coat of paint, given some new gameplay modes, possibly given some new content. And since this is a 3DS game, you don't have to work it from the ground up. Low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. That should be the name of this video. Nintendo Switch low risk, high reward, because all of these games fall right into that line. Even the brand new game that we got with God, I forgot the name of it, but we're just gonna call it Super Princess Peach because I completely blanked out on what the actual title of this is. You think I have notes up here? No, boy, this is all going off my brain here. But the new Super Princess Peach game, obviously it's a cool looking game. Like, even if, like, I don't care what anyone says, this game looks very, very cool because it's very unique and it's very different. And Nintendo is getting very creative with this game as far as the different gameplay styles are concerned. Stuff like the little detective mode and the sword fighter mode. It looks like it's a bunch of different games kind of put into one game, but there's just a bunch of different modes and like a central themed game. So I think this looks awesome. But look at this visual style. Look at like the art style that's used in it. Look at the gameplay loop that's in it. Is this a really high budget game? No, it's not. And that's not to say it's not going to be a good game or anything like that, but this isn't something like a Metroid Prime 4. This isn't something like a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This isn't something like a Super Mario Odyssey, a larger 3D scope game. It's a smaller, mostly 2.5D scope game. Say it with me, kids. Low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. And that's what Nintendo is going to do going forward with this system. They could still announce brand new games, but they're not going to be huge, you know, big budget titles or anything like that. They're going to be fan service. They're going to be things like ports and remasters and stuff like that. Look at the 3DS's end of life cycle. Like, one of the big games, like one of the last final big games was Metroid Samus Returns, which should have came out on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm still mad that that's not out on the Nintendo Switch because that's a really fun game that I don't want to play on my 3DS, but it was a remaster of an old game. See, Nintendo's figured this out. It's taken them a very long time, but they figured this out. They could resell their games and people will buy them. We see this time and time again with other companies doing HD remasters of previously released games. Now, sometimes those other companies are doing it at a more budget-friendly price, but this is Nintendo. They don't have to adhere to your standards of practices and stuff like that. They will do whatever they want and charge you whatever they want. Because let's be real, people are going to pay it. So if you get mad at the prices of these games, really just get mad at yourself because it's your fault that all of this is happening. I don't think the Nintendo Switch is dead or anything like that. I still think you're going to get some cooler, smaller titles like these games that can still be very exciting. Now, obviously, you feel like we know everything for at least, you know, the end of 2023 and potentially the first half of 2024, but there is going to be that February Nintendo Direct. But is that when Nintendo starts to talk about the next generation system? It all kind of comes down to when they are going to release this system. I think it's clear that this is coming in 2024 though, because with this lineup of games, while it is good, it's fan service. It's low risk, high reward. And by doing that, you're pretty much just rewarding people of your ecosystem already. You're saying, hey, you know what? We're kind of moving on, but here's some fun titles from our previous catalog of games, some HD remasters, some lower budget titles that are still going to be fun, that'll still, you know, be worth your dollar, but it doesn't really make us have to work extra hard on these games so we can focus on the future games. We can focus on new engines and new technology that we're going to be utilizing in this new system. As the title of this video says, as I started this video out, it's the end of the Nintendo Switch as we know it. I'm not expecting Metroid Prime 4 to be on the Nintendo Switch at this point in time, because I already know about games coming out in the summer of 2024. Where's Metroid Prime going to fit into all of this? But you know what? I feel fine. These games are still going to be fun. They're still going to be good experiences. It's just time to realize that, you know, Nintendo's probably moving on with putting their big budget titles on the Switch, and that's okay. There's thousands of games on the system. You're still getting third-party titles as well. You'll get smaller niche titles, which are, you know, cult classics within the Nintendo community, and who knows? Maybe Rusty's Real Deal Baseball will rise from the ashes and be released on the Nintendo Switch. Could be the final game, and that would be the cherry on the Nintendo Switch pie. But maybe I'm completely wrong on all this. Maybe the next Nintendo system isn't until 2026, and this is just Nintendo being like, shit, man, we're out of ideas. We're out of IPs. What do we do now? What are we doing next? All right, just put another Mario game out there. You know, we've already exhausted the 3D Mario games, but we still got Super Mario Galaxy 2. We could HD remaster that next. That'll be the headline of the February Nintendo Direct. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. 476,000 subscribers. We're gonna hit that 500,000 sooner rather than later. Hopefully, unless I get involved in a scandal or something. But you know, scandals could actually help if I'm the innocent person in it. But I mean, let's be real, this is me, and I'm probably never innocent whatsoever. And as always, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.